Namaste everybody. My name is Sarmila Ranabat. I am the project coordinator of Beyond Border Learning Circle. This is Canadian Zalmi's initiatives. And as I said, I'm privileged to lead this project, and we are running this project in Calgary and also in Edmonton. We are trying to cover different social issues, and so far we are able to cover topics such as mental health, parenting, multicultures, different arts, and many more. So we are running this project under, in support with Government of Alberta, and we do have collaborative partners like Canadian Guidance Association, Society, Niwa Society of Calgary, and Calgary Single Mother Society. Kamala is there. She's like, don't miss me. All right. So thank you everybody for joining us today. And we are, Canadian Zalmi is grateful to have this partnership with all our partner organization. And obviously we are also grateful to our funder, Government of Alberta. With this, I also want to share some housekeeping notes. In case of emergency, you may see your left hand side and your right hand side we have exits, and our master point is parking lot, and washroom is just beside my exit door, beside Jugo Juice. It's just over there, not that far. And we are also live streaming this program in YouTube channel because we think this is very important conversation. And thank you everybody for coming together again and sharing, especially for panels. Thank you for supporting us, and thank you for willingness to contribute your perspective in ethnocultural leadership, women's leadership in ethnocultural communities. So this year's Women's International Day theme is for all women and girls' rights, equality, and empowerment. And I think today's discussion goes beyond recognizing challenges. It's about creating actionable pathways to gender equality in our ethnocultural communities. And we are truly grateful to our panelists, especially our male allies and male panelists, to be here, and then your presence and willingness to contribute to this important conversation demonstrate a kind of shared commitment to the gender equality in ethnocultural communities. So to provide some context for today's discussion, I also want to share my personal experience here. Not long ago, a fellow community leader told me, when we were advocating for gender equality, he told me that you are in Canada now, you don't need to worry about gender equality, and you don't need to bring gender equality narratives here in Canada. So he also added, everyone is equal here in Canada, and everyone has same opportunities. To him, gender inequality was simply not an issue here in Canada, and we, women, should be grateful for the opportunities we have here in Canada. I was taken aback, not because I was surprised by what he said when I was advocating for gender equality, but because it was a stark reminder for how deep these blind spots run in our communities. It is easy to believe inequality doesn't exist when it comes to, someone is not affected by these issues. It is easy to dismiss these conversations when you have never had to fight to be heard. This also reflects how deeply ingrained patriarchy remains in our communities. But let me be clear, gender inequality does not disappear just because we cross a border. I have attended many events, and in many times, I'm the only woman sitting with my male counterpart, my male colleagues. And is this how we want to run our community organization? Or do we also have a responsibility or accountability to encourage, empower, and create a space for women, especially for our young women? And also, psychological studies and theories suggest that, every human being, they are more likely to aspire seeing another human who are similar to their race, similar to their, gender, ethnicity, or ethnic group. So that's why, I feel, and Canadian Zalmi feels, this conversation is very important. And thank you everybody for coming here to have this important conversation today. With this, I would like to invite Samaila Maksud for land acknowledgement.
Me behind or do I have friends? I know I'm very short. Okay. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territories of the indigenous peoples of this land. In Calgary, we respectfully recognize the ancestral home, traditional lands, and ongoing stewardship of the Treaty 7 nations, which includes Blackfoot Nation, Biganai Blood Tribe, the Blackfoot Confederacy, Sutina, formerly known as Sarsi, and Stony Nakota, which includes Bearspaw First Nation and Chicanai First Nation and Westlake First Nation. We also acknowledge that the Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3, whose footsteps have marked these lands for generations, we honor and respect the deep connections Indigenous communities have with this land and recognize that the ongoing impacts of colonialization. We, as we gather here, we commit to learning from Indigenous knowledge, fostering meaningful relationships, and working towards recolonization in the spirit of the truth and respect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samaila. We are going to start our panel discussion in a while, in maybe in few minutes. But before that, since our honorable MLA Irfan Sabir has to go to another event, so I would like to request Honorable Irfan Sabir to give some remarks. And Honorable Irfan Sabir is member of Legislative Assembly representing Calgary, Buller, Mackel. He served as Government of Alberta's Minister of Community and Social Services from 2015 to 2019, and he is currently the official opposition critic for justice and public safety. Ladies and gentlemen, please give him a great round of applause. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Sharmila, for that kind introduction. I too would like to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional lands of Treaty 7 signatories and recognize Métis people who share a deep connection with this land. Since we are talking about women issues, women participation, I will also recognize that many Indigenous women have gone missing, have been murdered, and still seeking justice. So it's important that we recognize happy to be here. As Sharmila said, it's an important issue. Women make up at least 50%, if not more, of our population of humanity. And when we look at their participation in leadership positions, they are not represented the way they should be. And we need conscious action, policies to make sure that they are represented. In 2015, I remember that when we became government, Premier Notley then, she chose a gender equal cabinet with equal number of women and men as ministers. And then Alberta has a lot of 330 boards, commission, and agencies. And she instructed every minister that whenever you are making appointments to the board, I want you to have gender balance. I want you to have consider indigenous communities. I want you to have consider person of color communities and all diverse groups to make sure that the diverse voices are represented. Fast forward in 2023, Alberta elected 38 members of NDP caucus, and there are more women than men. So that was the conscious effort put into recruiting, encouraging women to run for the leadership position, and that's why they are there. So I think we live in 21st century. It shouldn't be something controversial that women issues need to be represented by women, and for that, they need to be at the decision-making tables. I apologize that I have to leave for another event at UFC, but I'm glad to see that so many of you have joined on Sunday afternoon to be part of this important conversation. Rest assured that my colleagues and I are here to work with you on all issues that matter to you. Thank you so much, Sharmila, and all your partners for organizing this important event and for having us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Irfan, for your invaluable time. So yeah, we are going to listen to our youth soon, but before that, I'm also asked to do two lucky draw before he leave. So maybe Mohammed, would you like to choose one or two? Yeah, just have one. And then yeah, we have some gift items here to our participants. So we wanna do some lucky draw. What is the number? Layla Baha. Layla, oh, okay. She's the first winner. Can I have the volunteer? Can we please have one gift hamper from there for our participants? One of the box, please. Thank you. So our first lucky winner, Layla, she is going to get some gift from our honorable MLA Irfan Sabir. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And one more lucky draw. Maybe yeah, we have to run first. So yeah, you can choose one. Can I have another box, please? Thank you to our lovely volunteers. Last four digits we have is 2951. 2951. If you have that number, please come forward in the stage. Oh, Hisila. Hisila. She went outside? She is here around. Maybe. Okay. That has name on it. Sadia. Sadia is our next winner. Sadia, Sadia. Woo! Thank you, Sadia, and everybody for coming here today. So we are giving away a few gift hampers here. Sadia is our second winner. Thank you. So may I request our honorable MLA to present a gift to Sadia. Thank you. Thank you, Sadia. Thank you so much, Irfan, for joining us today, and thank you for your contribution and invaluable time. So at this point, may I request Madeha Khan to come on the stage to moderate youth panel. Madeha Khan. Sorry, I didn't see you in the front too, so.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Madeha is the founder and president of Canadian Guidance Association. She is going to moderate youth panel today. Thank you. Thank you, Madeha.
Thank you so much, Sharmila, for your kind introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I can see lovely faces here. And thank you so much for waiting us patiently because of the mishap happening earlier, right? So we are all here for this important discussion on the leadership in ethnocultural communities with a special focus on empowering underrepresented voices. My name is Madeha Khan and I am the president of Canadian Guidance Association. And we are organizing different programs. We are offering project management courses and different sports activities. We are running badminton in collaboration with Zalmi Society. Thank you so much, Zalmi, for arranging this program. We have an incredible group of the leaders, young leaders, I could say, who will share their insights and experiences on the challenges, opportunities, and aspirations of stepping into the leadership roles. This discussion is especially important. You know why? Because the young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, they are leading today. So their voices and perspectives are shaping more inclusive and equitable future for all of us. As the Nigerian author Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie once said, we all should be feminist. This simple yet powerful saying, and it's equality, this is just not a women's issue. You all know that. It's a human issue. I can say this thing to you guys. Now, let's meet our young panelists. I would like to invite our young panelists. They are more energetic, more amazing people. They are our future. And as I have already told you, that they are not the leaders of tomorrow. They are leading today. And for this, first of all, I would like to invite Farah Rahmani. Farah Rahmani, can you please come on the stage? Farah Rahmani is originally from Pakistan. She is a young, energetic leader and a medical student. First-year medical student. She is the vice president of Canadian Zalmi Society. She is lovely, wonderful girl, honestly speaking. I have spent a lot of time with her. I know her very well. So Farah is doing great things from very early age, honestly speaking. Her work spans research, grant writing, program development, and implementation. Here you go, Farah. Thank you very much. Have a seat, please. Yeah, put your hands together, please. I can see the energy. I know that a lot of people are on fasting. I am also on fast. So it's cold weather. Thank you very much again for joining us in this cold weather. Now I would like to invite another young leader, Amin Alizada from Afghanistan. Amin Alizada, can you please come on the stage and have a seat, please? Now I would like to introduce Amin Alizada. He is the president and co-founder of Cleast for Kids Foundation. He empowers marginalized communities and women in sports, background in kinesiology, and research in stroke and visual sciences. Thank you for coming and be the part of this conversation and discussion. Now I would like to call Pratik Kumar. He is from India, Pratik Kumar. He is a first-year engineering student at the University of Calgary, biomedical engineering focus, right? He is an Indian immigrant promoting his culture through volunteer work at a local cultural center. He is an amazing human being. Thank you. If I pronounce your name incorrectly, please don't mind. I'm sorry for that. I apologize. Swaga, right? How do you pronounce your name? Huh? So, Soyuza. Soyuza Baskota, lovely girl from Nepal. Yeah. She is in the third year civil engineering, a student dedicated to human rights, volunteer with the Nepali Pathsala, the Center for Newcomers, and the Toastmaster, focusing on community accessibility, sustainability, and development. Have a seat, please. So these are the young panelists for today. Before diving into the question answer session, I would like to make sure that you must know that we have a few questions for you guys, and we will be giving you 3 minutes time, and you have to try to finish your thoughts and try to finish and deliver your thoughts within this time period, because we are short of time. We are running late, a little late. So we will try our best to complete this session within the time period, right? And yeah. So should we start our, are you ready for that? Yeah, put on your seatbelts. Are you okay? Joke apart, yeah, get ready. So let's dive into the question. My first question is, as a young leader from ethnocultural background, what have you observed about women's leadership in community organizations? Do you believe that leadership opportunities are equally accessible to women and men? Why or why not? Should I repeat it? Yeah, I'm repeating it once again. You are a young person from different ethnocultural backgrounds, you know that. So what have you observed about the women leadership in community organization? First part. I'm dividing it into a few parts so that you can perceive it very accurately, right? So, do you believe that leadership opportunities are equally accessible to women or men? Second part. And the third part is why or why not? Should we start? Got it? Ready to go? Yay. So, Farah, I'm giving you this mic, and please start answering.
Hello. Hello. All right. So that was a very long question, but I guess just starting with the first part. So, just from my experience, I've been doing community work for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've noticed that a lot of community, especially ethno-cultural communities, their leadership is primarily made up of men, and a lot of times it's kind of difficult because women will be a part of the programs, but when it comes to leadership and decision making, the doors are kind of closed to them. And I know a lot of it is rooted in cultural beliefs and those structures that have been in place for centuries, and those are very hard to break. So from my experience, I think in terms of the opportunities, they're still not very equitable. So even if the space is open and it's like, okay, women can try and apply for these positions, they don't necessarily get the support that they need. So I definitely think that the biggest thing that a lot of us can do is kind of support women in opening up these spaces. So individuals that are in these power positions who are able to make the decisions, they're the ones who have to kind of take the first step, because a lot of times it starts very early. So even if you're just a child, if you don't see women in these power positions and you don't necessarily have someone you can look up to and you can kind of see a reflection of yourself in, it's very difficult to try to have something that you can kind of work towards. So by opening up these spaces and by having men that are allies who are comfortable sharing that space and giving up, some opportunities to give women this space and empowering them to take on these roles, we can start to also develop this sense of leadership in younger children, younger women, younger girls, so they have something that they can strive for and they have someone that they can see as kind of an aspiration to work towards.
Thank you very much for this insight. Amazing. Highly appreciate it. Yeah. Over to you, Alizada.
Okay, hello everybody. So my sentiments echo what my co-panelist has said here. My experience with the Cleats for Kids Foundation and working with young women from marginalized communities and cultural backgrounds, a lot of these girls, they come and they're so excited to be able to play soccer because there haven't been a lot of opportunities advertised to them. And a lot of the times from their cultural backgrounds and their families might limit them a little bit in terms of encouraging them to play the sports that we know through research and lots of experience that these sports are really important for their development. We're here today to talk about leadership. Sports is one of the things that catalyzes and fosters leadership in our young generations. And a lot of these girls talk about not seeing people in leadership positions, and particularly in sports that look like them, that they can look up to, that their male counterparts often have. So I think again, I would echo what my co-panelist says in terms of increasing the visibility of leadership positions for women in some of these organizations and just our societies, so that we can further propagate leadership in women, and specifically and especially young girls, as they are the future generation of our society. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We need more crispy things from you. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you for the awesome question. So, I've seen a lot of women take on leadership roles in the cultural organization I'm a part of, and I feel like the biggest thing that's come from that is their ability to highlight different perspectives, different viewpoints, maybe even different people that we wouldn't have seen before, or that more male-centered leadership and decision-making structures wouldn't have noticed in the past. And I do believe that women in leadership, women in decision-making, that whole thing has come a long way. For example, I've seen in my university club, I'm part of a club at my university, we have a lot of female division leads, female executive members, and they contribute a lot to a club. They bring a lot of diverse perspectives, especially on the engineering side. It's just more people, right? And they're all very talented, very smart. I'm really happy they get that opportunity. But at the same time, there is a lot more work to be done. And I think, like my co-panelist said, the best way to do that is through skill development, and to give them the opportunity to learn how to be a leader, learn how to be part of a decision-making group and make those good decisions. And similar to what my co-panelist echoed, I think part of that comes from having good role models to look up to, good leaders to look up to, and that way they can create a more inclusive decision-making and leadership process for everyone. Thank you.
Playground. Please put your hands together. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to thank the organization today for letting me speak. So I migrated to Canada when I was 12 years old, which means that I had the opportunity to really look at two different ethnocultural backgrounds back home as well as here, right? Back home, women were always the heart of any family. Okay, I remember my grandmother, she would make lists, make finance decision for my joint family of 12. And in my head, I would always think, what is this if not a leader, right? But however, I would always observe that every single politician that I ever heard about, every single leader that I ever looked at in the TV was a man. Looking at this, I always thought, that's okay. Nepal is not there yet. Nepal is not developed yet. In the West, it is going to be infinitely better, right? I grew up learning about the suffragette movement. I grew up learning about voting rights. So coming to Canada, I had this expectation that everything is perfect here, that men and women are equal. And growing up, I realized, taking off those rose-colored glasses of childhood, I realized that that's not true. That even in Canada, even in such a first world country, we are very behind. My friend used to work at a car dealership, which is very male-dominated, and this person, she has loved cars for as long as I know. She grew up wanting to do this work. However, in her workplace, she had trouble making sure that her peers looked at her with respect. Her boss would not take her seriously. He would give her cars that were not as expensive. He would give more opportunities to people that were hired after her. And looking at this, she got so frustrated that she had to quit her job. And this was not because she didn't like her job. This is something that she's dreamed about forever. Looking at this, it's just so frustrating because women are there and they should be leaders. They have the capacity to do it. But they're just not given the opportunity. So in order for us to be equal, there's still so much work that we need to do.
That's a great point. And it reminds me of a time when I was walking to a meeting room and there were a lot of men over there, and I was the only lady. When I entered that room, and you know what happened? He told me, "Great, now we have a diversity." I said, "Oh wow, thank you. Now we need equity." Got it? Yeah. So we need equity as well. Diversity is there, but we need equity from all of us, right? So now moving towards the serious note. World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report highlights that while progress has been made, but there is still a long way to go. Representation matters, but equality requires support. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Thank you very much, all the young panelists. You are awesome, honestly speaking. It's clear that some communities have made progress. Hello. Are still facing a lot of troubles, right? I would like to give you my example that personally I have seen both sides. In my family, which is mostly doctors, a lot of people know that, but including my husband, my father-in-law, my mother, everyone works. And all the men of our family supports women. They encourage women. But beside that, there are few communities who don't support. They say that women's are for home. Women's are for raising the kids only. So this is the problem that is still going on. I think we have a limited time, so we should have to move on to the next question, right? If you have any question, you can raise your hand, you can ask it, right? So, are you ready for the next question? You need more chill-ups? All good? Okay, perfect. So, my next question is, how can we balance traditional power structure within certain ethnocultural communities to create more inclusive leadership opportunities? First part. I was a teacher, so that's why. I am a teacher. Second part. What practical steps can be taken to empower women to take on leadership roles and participate fully in decision-making processes? Should I repeat it, or is it okay for you guys? Okay? Yeah. So, over to you. Yeah. I need more crispy things this time.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
So I think in terms of integrating female leadership into traditional structures, I think sometimes we kind of think the Western way is the right way, and that doesn't necessarily work, because if you want to work with ethnocultural communities, you need to first respect the fact that they do things their own way. And so I think the first thing is acknowledging the fact that they see the world differently, and it's based on where they're from and what they value. Because like when we're like, as someone who grew up in Canada, I sometimes value different things than my parents who grew up in South Asia. So learning that because of where we grew up, because the communities that we're involved in, we value different things. I think once we're able to acknowledge that difference, we're able to meet with these individuals and kind of work with the structure they already have. I don't think it's necessarily about dismantling anything and recreating it. It's about looking at what they already have and seeing how we can start to integrate women into those roles. So I think a pretty good example of this, which is not directly related to leadership, was during the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot of ways in which we actually mobilized a lot of the information that we had was by working with leaders in the community, such as going to masjids and talking to the imams, or going to gurdwaras and talking to the people in charge there. And it kind of shows that by meeting people in communities and spaces that they're comfortable, and by talking to people who are already in leadership positions there, that's where we can get real change to happen. And I think once the people that are in those higher up positions, once you get them having these conversations and understanding the value that the women in their community can bring, I think that's where we're able to get the most change, versus kind of coming at it in a combative way and saying, this isn't right, you're doing it wrong, and this is how you can make it better. So by recognizing that they have different structures and systems and figuring out how we can make spaces for women, I think that's kind of like the best way that I could see it going about. And I think that this isn't just isolated to ethno-cultural communities. I think a lot of times we think, oh, it's because we come from these cultures where men are at the top. Everything is so much better here. I am a medical student, and I'm telling you, this year was the first year that we had a female assistant dean. So that just goes to show that there are various areas that still need work, and like by tackling them in different ways, that's how we can get change to happen. And I think that conversation needs to acknowledge the fact that it isn't just ethnocultural communities, and it isn't just because of culture that females are not getting the space that they need. And once these spaces open up, I think by empowering women, I know a lot of my co-panelists already talked about it, but having leadership programs and kind of making sure that we're able to have them in times where women who have children are able to find childcare so that they can have an opportunity to come in and do this work, or even having them online, utilizing technology that we already have, just to meet them in the middle and make sure that all women, despite any barrier that they might have, can access this information, and if they want, try to find a way to get into those leadership positions.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is a great point. And I would like to shed light on another perspective that, are you okay with that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So how can we pursue them? Because there are a lot of conversations going on leadership, empowerment, but how can we pursue the government and other representatives for the outcome?
Yeah, and I think like
A lot of people are working on the outcome, I know that, but more people are focusing on conversations. So how can we pursue them? As a young leader, how do you see that?
Yeah, I think conversations sometimes seem very passive because it's like, oh, like there's a lot of talk, but there's not a lot of action. And I think in terms of, because you mentioned government and policy, I think that just goes to show that education is at the core of this. So being educated on the choices that we make. So let's say like I know Irfan Saber was here and he's in the provincial government, but when there is an election, every single person has a vote that counts and it's equal to the other person sitting beside you. So as a woman, if you are feeling if you want certain policies, or if you feel that a certain party better represents women equality and what you want to see in your community, take your vote and make your vote count. So having these conversations kind of just helps educate people and kind of builds awareness, and I think that's important. But for like policy development and things, I think getting educated on the parties that are coming, the elections that are coming, and making your vote count. Even if you're not comfortable coming to things like this and talking, you can still do things like voting. You can even help with campaigning and things like that. So I feel like those tend to feel less passive and more like actionable.
Highly appreciated. Put your hands together, please. Over to you. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Your sense.
it is hard to say something new and fresh after such a fulsome and awesome response. I think that, I think it's really important to meet people where they are in terms of these ethno-cultural backgrounds. But I also think that, that education piece, I'd like to touch on that a little bit more. I think that, going into communities and allowing them to understand that encouraging women in leadership roles and allowing them to develop in ways that are fruitful for themselves and society is not an attack on traditional gender roles. I think that we can absolutely encourage women in sports, in academia, in the workplace without having to sacrifice some of the traditional roles and ideas and cultural ideas that we hold so dearly. I think people need to understand, and this goes into meeting people where they are, that being in sports and being in academia and running leadership positions and clubs and organizations can help an individual in whatever they want to do, whether that is be at home and raise children and be a leader within the household, or be a leader in the workplace, or whatever it may be. And we should empower our women and girls to be able to make that decision for themselves, to live the most fulfilling and successful lives possible. In terms some of those actionable steps. I think one thing that we can do, it may not be enough to have women in leadership positions now, as we're seeing more and more of that, but we should also ensure that women voices are heard and advertised and empowered. Oftentimes, it is male individuals who are making the decisions and have those more formal leadership roles. So I think I would like to see more women in those roles, and that we as communities can amplify those voices to reach our young women and young girls, so that they can be allowed to understand that they can do whatever they want, and they're allowed to have a dream in terms of whatever it is that they want to do. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your insights. Yeah. And some people always ask me, how can I balance? So please shed light on this, the balancing thing, that if a woman have the opportunity to work side by side the man, then how can you support them? How can they balance this thing, right? So a little bit more different. I hope you can, because a lot of people always ask me, how can I balance being a leader, a mother, a community advocate? I told them, you know what I told them? Are you ready for my answer? Okay. I told them I have a support, but I just don't sleep. Okay. Over to you.
Thank you. So I think just talking about how women can balance their leadership roles, both within the house, within their family, and within their workplace, I think it sort of comes from more institutional steps from governments and policymakers of the like in supporting women. I think some of my co-panelists touched on it earlier, where we'd have more childcare programs. But I'm also thinking more mental health supports for women, maybe who just had childbirth and are struggling to recover from that and go back into the workplace. I think it's super important to give those supports that women need, and also helping them while they're in the workplace, where maybe things aren't working for them the way they want them to. So giving them the supports they need from the government, perhaps even legal support if it's needed to support them. And also touching on the cultural part of this, I think it's important to understand where these notions of women not being equal to men are coming from on a more cultural level, on a more traditional level. And I think it's important to not antagonize these people that are holding these values, but to try and work with them to integrate the values of gender equality and the fact that women can take on these leadership roles and make good decisions and decision-making power, and weave that into these cultural beliefs and traditional values held by many people. And I feel like in that way, if we weave it together, it'll be passed on more and more to generations, leading to greater gender equality as time passes. Thank you.
Highly appreciate it. I don't feel energy in your hands. Please, show some energy. They're doing an amazing job. Thank you.
So I would like to quote something that I saw, the other day. It was the idea that one of the biggest challenges in many communities in our world is that leadership structures were created at a time when women were not expected to lead, right? So even when traditions changed and we started evolving, these structures often remained the same. And it was like nearly impossible for women to be in decision-making status, right? So take, for example, this local community that I know of. The women were responsible for planning events. They were responsible for raising funds and networking. However, when it was time to elect the president and the board members, everybody was, it was taken up by men immediately, right? And these men always told the women that they were doing great. They were always told that they were the backbone of their community. However, they were never recognized as leaders. This is not because they lack skills. This is because the structure has made it so that nobody takes them seriously as leaders. So to change this, I think one of the most important things that we need to start by doing is rethinking what leadership even is. What is leadership, right? Because I think we often think of leadership as authority when it should be seen as service. Because we are not in the time where somebody needs to be the king of the jungle, or there's a monarch who's looking over their subjects, right? We are in in a society where political leaders, they service us. So who is more equipped to be in that power than mothers? Because I believe that being a mother is the most important and one of the most biggest leadership roles here. And like my panelists said about childcare and providing childcare, I believe that if jobs and if communities would have the courage to do that, have the courage to give them more opportunities and see that mothers are actually very, 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 very equipped being a leader, then we would be very ahead in society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Change takes time.
Sorry?
Change takes time.
Yeah, yes.
But every small step matters.
We'll get there.
Completely agree with you guys. And a few takeaways from today's youth discussions. First is representation matters. Representation matters, but true equality requires access and support. We need that support. Second takeaway that I got it from their point of view, from their perspective, is we can balance cultural values. How? With progress, through open conversations, right? Through mentorship. So change takes time, but we have to work for that. Thank you. We don't want to take much of your time because a lot of people are on fast and we don't want to stand between their samosas and their parties. I think Muhammad Awada is not listening to me. We don't want to stand with your samosas and parties. So, as the American writer and professor Audre Lorde once said, I am not free while anyone is unfree, even when their shackles are very different from my own. This is a power statement. Remind us that our collective success is interconnected. By supporting women leaders, we are building a better future for all of us. A huge thank you to our incredible panelists. Thank you very much for your time, for your perspectives, for your ideas, for your experiences, for your thoughts. Thank you very much. And also I would like to thank Canadian Zalmi for initiating and making this initiative possible. Let's give all of them a big round of applause. With all of your energy. I cannot see this energy in your applauses. Yeah. And of course, thank you guys. You came here in this cold weather and enjoyed this conversation. Remember one thing. This is my scent. We have a limited time, so I didn't ask more questions from them. Change starts with us. Whether it's advocating for equality, supporting diverse leaders, or stepping into leadership roles ourselves. So let's continue this work together. Thank you very much. Now I would like to call I would like to invite our Honorable Ward 5 Councillor, Mr. Raj Dhaliwal Bhai. He is very honorable to us. He is not saying only. His action speaks louder than words, honestly speaking. He is doing a lot of things for our Calgary. He is very approachable person. He is very supportive person. Can you please come on the stage, Raj Bhai? I can't say enough. I have a lot of things for you.
Thank you. That was just too much. First of all, thank you to all the organizers for doing this, for this amazing session. And it's led by women. What else can we say? So this is the strength they have, and they're the community leaders. Lots of things are said. I always say, let's not be selective and conditional just because of political convenience to say glossy things. Say as it is. Second, let's not be selective with our activism. And often, on International Women's Day, that's what we do. Just the things that people want to hear, we just say those things. We celebrate women. just recently read in an article. I won't take long. Just this thing, 30 seconds. I read an article in Al Jazeera. It was written by this girl, and she said something that was very strong. And she talked about this conditional activism, and she said, Western feminism picks up on things that are convenient for them, and that needs to stop. She gave an example that when a bunch of girls, women in Iran took off their hijab, Western media celebrated them. When Ukrainian women picked up weapons, Western media called them resilient. But when women in Palestine are going through rubble, looking for their babies, there's a silence. There's silence everywhere because it's not convenient. So let's just make an effort that activism has to be fair. And I like these guys, what they said. Let's politically do things that are right and may not be convenient for other people to hear. So with that, thank you so much, and power to these great women. They're doing an amazing work. Let's keep supporting them, and I'm pretty sure one day we will see equity. And one other thing, we need to stand up together because there's lots and lots of pushback on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that is dangerous. That is dangerous for a city where 44% of the population is visible minority. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Raj Bhai. And I completely agree with your thought that activism is very important. For the raffle? No. To all of you. So now we are going to give the token of appreciation to all the youth panel. So, Farah, can you please come here? Raj Bhai, we need your help for this. Thank you so much, Farah, for your insights. Now, Alizada, Fahim Alizada, sorry, Amin Alizada.
Good job. Thank you.
This is a little gift of token of appreciation for you. Pratik, I remember your name now. There you go. Thank you so much. Sioja. Sioja. Now I remember. I'll remember your name. Thank you so much for your insights. Over to you, Sharmila. There you go.
Thank you, everybody. What do you think about our youth panelists' perspective? They were, oh my God, literally, I was amazed listening to all of them. And indeed, it is so inspiring to hear you all, and thank you so much for sharing your strategies as well to bring gender equalities in ethnocultural communities. Thank you, everybody. Before we start our community leaders panel, we would like to have two cultural performances. So I'm just looking at Eva right now. So Eva, and we also have Matribhumi Melody Arts performing today. So may I ask Eva to get ready? Nasir, are we ready technically to support her? Okay, so we are getting ready, and I think we need a little bit break right now after hearing youth perspective. We are getting ready for our community leaders perspective now, but yeah, we want to have two performances in between. Okay, when Eva is ready, we want to do some lucky draw here. So let's add some excitement here again with raffle. Anyone would like to volunteer to pick one raffle? Anyone? I'm going to, where? Okay. I think I want to do with this little one I have here right now. You want to pick one? Okay, let's see who she choose today. What's the number? You want to say the number?
0, 4, 2, 1, 2, 961.
What are the four last digits? Loudly.
2961.
Okay, who has 2961? 2961. Who has? Woohoo! Samaila, okay. Our one of the organizer gets the prize. Can I have a gift box ready? Okay, here we go. When Eva is ready, we are doing this raffle. Thank you so much. May I request Raz to come up on the stage and give this gift to our winner today? Thank you so much. There we go. Photo is taken now. Thank you. One more raffle we want to do here. I think someone from this group was pretty excited to have this number. Okay, there we go. Okay, what number you have? Maybe we can just read last four digits.
943.
You want to repeat?
Yeah, yeah.
Last four.
1294 3.
All right, so it is 2943. Our next lucky draw winner is 2943. I have name here. I have Maria here behind this ticket. Maria, do we have 2943 for last digits in the ticket? Woohoo! Maria, okay, come over here. Can I have one more box? And I am bothering you again, right? Okay, we have another lucky draw winner. Thank you so much. We are getting ready for a photo. Thank you so much for joining us today. And do we still have time to do one more lucky draw, or we are good? We are good? Okay, we are ready. We are ready for Eva's performance? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together, welcoming Eva Nepal, our little girl, lovely girl. Look at her. She looks so beautiful in Nepali traditional attire. I think I'm not getting that energy to welcome this little girl, you know. So please put your hands together, welcoming her. Okay, there you go. Thank you, everybody.
छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नछल गाइदेऊ झुमाको मन खाला छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नछल गाइदेऊ झुमाको मन खाला नलाइदेऊ झुमा नलाइदेऊ जानी पिरती नलाइदेऊ नलाइदेऊ झुमा नलाइदेऊ जानी पिरती नलाइदेऊ फुकाइदेऊ मेरो पिरेमा फुकाइदेऊ धुमा फुकाइदेऊ रोएर नि मोहनी फुकाइदेऊ रोएर नि मोहनी फुकाइदेऊ छल छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नझल्काइदेऊ धुमाको मन खाला नाचौला 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 बारुले कम्बरे भाचौला नाचौला 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 बारुले कम्बरे भाचौला मनमा फुलेको यो चोख माया कसैलाई नभनी साचौला कर्ममा यस्तैले झुमाको हुने हो कसरी एउटाको हो कर्ममा यस्तैले झुमाको हो हुने हो कसरी एउटाको कोही छैन भनी नि नाचिदेऊ झुमा जिन्दगी भइसक्यो दौताको नलाइदेऊ झुमा नलाइदेऊ जान्छनी पिरती नलाइदेऊ फुकाइदेऊ झुमा फुकाइदेऊ रोएर नि मोहनी फुकाइदेऊ रोएर नि मोहनी फुकाइदेऊ छल छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नझल्काइदेऊ धुमाको मन खाला छल छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नझल्काइदेऊ धुमाको मन खाला छल छल गर्ने कम्पनी माला नझल्काइदेऊ धुमाको मन खाला Thank you.
Thank you, Eva, Nepal. Thank you so much for gracing us with your wonderful song here. And yeah, let's give her a huge round of applause. She deserves it, isn't it? Okay, thank you, everybody. I think our Matribhumi Melody Arts is getting ready for their performance. May I ask how long it may take to get ready? So, we are going to have another captivating Nepali cultural performance from Matribhumi Melody Arts shortly in 2 minutes. But to feel this environment, maybe I'll like to do another raffle here. We want to make 2 participants winner. Again, anyone would like to volunteer to pick the ticket? All right. Okay, we have little volunteer here. Wonderful. Close your eyes and make one participant a winner. Who they are?
The last 4 digits? Yes. 2, 9, 2, 4, 1.
Can you see the name in the back?
It's hard to read.
It's hard to read. Mirmisha. It says Mirmisha. There you go. Come on in. So we have one more winner here. And can I have a gift box again? Thank you so much for our wonderful volunteer for supporting us and assisting us for everything you are doing. Thank you. Maybe I want to invite maybe Fauzia, if you are here around. She is the president of Elm Society. I would like to invite her to give this gift to our participants. I think she also belongs to your community, so here we go. Congratulations. 'Congratulations! 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 'Congratulations So we have one more gift there? No? Nothing left? All right. Okay, so I think our team is almost ready. So we are going to, I think this is like 5 to 7 minute performance. And I am delighted and honored to introduce 3 exceptional team members of Matrubhumi Melody Arts. Matrubhumi Melody Arts is a group of Nepali artists dedicated to promoting and preserving Nepali folk music, dance, and traditional instrument. Its mission is to showcase Nepal's vibrant cultural heritage to the world, celebrating the... Are you listening to me? Okay. This mic is on and off. Anyway, this group's aim is to celebrate the rich artistic tradition that connects generations and communities. So please put your hands together in welcoming 3 exceptional members of our community, our cherished cultural ambassador Yuvraj Gurung, Sudarus Timilsina, and Imma Gurung. Where is the energy again? Thank you, everybody.
Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. Hello, hello. Can you put more reverb? Reverb. Hello, check. Hello, check. Hello, check. Hello, check, check, check. More. Reverb, reverb. Echo. Hello, check. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, check. More. Hello, check. Hello. Hello, check. Check, 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 check. More reverb. Yes. Good. Hello, check. Hello. More reverb. If you can. Sorry. Two, three, go.
working.
Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Yuvraj Gurungji, Sudarus Timil Sinaji, and our little Imma Gurungs for your captivating Nepali cultural performance. So I think they deserve another round of applause. What do you say? Can we add extra energy for them? Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Matribhumi Melody Arts, for your invaluable time and this beautiful Nepali culture performance. Now, without further delay, we are going to have our community leaders panel now, and may I have an honor to invite our community leader, Muhammad Auda. Did I pronounce your last name correctly? Did I? All right. So he belongs to Lebanon community, and we are going to learn some perspective from Muhammad, and more. I think it's more about Lebanon community. All right, or Arabian community. All right, yeah. Muhammad Auda is a seasoned public service professional with over a decade of experience in strategic communications, stakeholder engagement, and community development. He has held key roles, including regional affairs advisor for the Government of Canada, community liaison and policy advisor of City of Calgary, and digital community manager at the Center of Newcomers. Muhammad Auda is also the co-chair of the Alberta Anti-Racism Advisory Council, where he leads initiatives to promote equity and inclusion. Recognized for his leadership, policy expertise, and ability to foster meaningful collaboration, he is dedicated to drive positive social change and community empowerment. We are honored to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. I think, can we have a little bit, the volume is not great. I think Nasir, sorry, can I have, I think this is not that loud enough, I guess. Yeah, thank you so much. And now, may I have an honor to invite my colleague from Montreal University, Dr. Jibunisa Chapola. She belongs to Bangladeshi community. She's going to bring perspective from that Bangladeshi community as well. Dr. Chapola is a decolonial social justice and cultural activist, anti-racism advocate, community radio host, and interdisciplinary community engaged scholar. A faculty member in the General Education Department at Montreal University, she bridges academia and activism to foster connection among newcomers, refugees, settlers, and indigenous communities. She has published her work in many reputed journals and books. I also have an honor to read one of your books, and I was truly delighted to learn from your perspective. SSHRC postdoctoral fellow at University of Regina, Dr. Chapola has been recognized with a number of prestigious awards, including the Queen Elizabeth II Advanced Scholar Recognition 2024 and the CBC Future 40 Awards. May I have an honor to invite you on the stage as well. Dr. Chapola, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like to invite my fellow community leader, Suman Chaulagai. He belongs to Nepali community, my community. Suman Chaulagai is a dedicated registered social worker and community volunteer. He holds a master's in English and bachelor's in sociology and anthropology from Nepal, along with a bachelor's in social work from University of Calgary. With over a decade of experience in social work and child welfare in Canada and Nepal, he served as a UN national officer during Nepal's civil war. As a registered social worker in Alberta, he has spent 6 years in child welfare with the government of Yukon and government of Alberta. Currently, he is a child intervention practitioner at Children and Family Services in Calgary, an active volunteer in communities, Nepali diaspora. Suman has contributed to different community projects, grant writing, and Nepalese radio programs. He also served as a board member of Nepali Pathshala under Nepalese Community Society of Calgary. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together in welcoming Suman Chaulagai. Now, our last panelist is Fauzia Kedri. Sorry. She belongs to Afghan community. She is going to bring her perspective from her community as well. So Fauzia Kedri, did I pronounce your last name now perfectly? Sorry. Yeah, Kedri. Thank you. Fauzia has been serving the community since childhood, starting with helping seniors. Having experienced war in Afghanistan, she immigrated to Canada over 2 decades ago and is fluent in 6 languages. She holds a bachelor's in business administration with a minor in French in Spanish. A lifelong nonprofit worker, Fauzia founded Ilm Society in 2022. Ilm Society is also our partner organization of today's event. Thank you, Fauzia, for supporting this event. And she supports Afghan women and girls during COVID-19. She actively supported affected families by delivering food and essential supplies, earning a leadership award from Mayor Jyoti Ganduk in 2023. Fauzia contributes to be a driving force in fostering inclusivity, empowerment, and social change. We are honored to have you here in the stage. Thank you for your willingness to contribute to today's gender equality conversation. So now, further delay, maybe I'll just impose the questions to our panelists. My first questions, maybe I will start with Mohammad Ji. The first question we have is, what are the current realities of women in and your community organization within, okay, let me read it again, sorry. So what are the current realities of your organization and communities in your communities, and what are the biggest barriers preventing women in your communities from stepping into leadership roles in community or, in organization? I want to start with you, and it is the same questions for all our panelists.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to thank Xelem Society, Canadian Xelem Society, and all the partners and all the co-panelists and the youth panelists for their wonderful inputs. Please give them a round of applause because they're tomorrow's future and their inputs are very valuable. I immigrated from Lebanon myself 10 years, almost 11 years ago. And Lebanon, for those who knows, in the Middle East is considered like one of the most liberal countries. So it's a country where is diversity and inclusion and equity is embodied. And then people acts upon it. So you see ministers that are women, you see leadership, women leadership and stuff, but definitely it's not equal in all the regions and depends on the ethnicity and the background and the religion and all these impacts that leads to that. So if I want to answer that aspect, and generally speaking about the Arab world, I would say definitely religion is one of the biggest barriers that would stand sometimes in the face of women. And that not because religion will stop it, it's because society and culture impose it in a very wrong approach, where they think that women cannot lead or women shouldn't have a sound on the table or shouldn't have a voice on the table and discuss certain things. And the only thing I feel that like will change this aspect like thoroughly is that us as fathers, as brothers, we need to empower the little ones to grow up and to learn that when there's a will, there's a way. When the parents, and I'm highlighting the aspect of the father, of the brother, of the son. If there's a will, there's a way to empower our sisters, our moms, our daughters in order to face like these struggles that they may face. And that does not apply in every society. I completely understand. In some parts of the world, it's very hectic. The struggles are serious. It's very hard. But when we empower it as parents in the house, as male faces in the house for our sisters and brothers and sisters, daughters, and mothers, it may create a difference. So thank you.
Thank you, Mohammadji. Indeed, you added a little bit religious aspect from your community. And thank you for being an ally. You also shared some perspective being a father, brother, how important it is to empower our sisters, right? So thank you for sharing your perspective. Now I want to go to Dr. Chapola.
Thank you, Sharmila. Before I start, can I just ask you a quick question? So do you want me to talk about how our ethnocultural spaces are being challenged or preventing women from...
You are free to share your perspective. This is your stage now.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Chapola, and I'm an academic mother with 3 daughters. And I am a singer, I'm a cultural activist, and I left my home country 22 years ago. So as a diaspora woman, when I started to volunteer with my own community, first challenge was, I would say that it was hard for our community to accept an interreligious married woman. I'm an interreligious married woman. I born in a Muslim family, but the person I got married, he is from Hindu religion. So I would say that, I want to echo with you that religious barriers are still, it's really very strong within ethnocultural communities. And secondly, first barrier is childcare, because when we come here, we do not have extended family support, and when you do not have your own community, then always childcare is the biggest obstacle. But let's talk about some solution. So I do consider myself as a community engaged activist and scholar. So the solution was to build your own community. And if I want to deconstruct community, I would like to say that it's not only community, it's anti-racist community. So within our community, the challenges I faced, but when I started to build my community with cross-cultural community members, it was much easier to break all those barriers. And another challenge is that, we newcomer women, when we come here, we do not have, I would say that strong educational background, right? Normally your credentials are not being valued by the host country. It happens. I know that that's a big conversation that I'm not going to open up. But what made me stronger and what made me confident today? My education. So, and I know that I'm very privileged that I pursued my education, and also simultaneously I would like to let you know that it was not easy to pursue for me because my background was women and gender studies. This is the discipline that it is not being valued by my ethnocultural community. But what made me stronger today? Yeah, there is a regressive patriarchal values which are being normalized, the subordination of women in South Asian communities, and nobody will give you the leadership. That also I have learned from my own lived experiences. So you have to, women need to take that leadership by themselves. And that's the work I have done. throughout my past 15 years, that I took the leadership to lead the community garden, to lead a community radio show, and also as a transcultural performer, I started to do many cultural activities, and also I know that women are the nurturer and carer of culture and language. So that was my strength too. So I started to teach my community children and also cross-cultural community people, and that gave me the strength. And after that, that knowledge, I actually wanted to give an academic voice to that knowledge that women are producing in their everyday life. And out of that experience, I have written this book. I will leave this book on the table to share more at the end of our conversation. But what I'm trying to say that there are challenges, but we have to take the lead to break all those barriers. Communities, we have those barriers. You know, when we come here, we bring those all those problematic ideas in our luggages. But simultaneously, I want to say that we need to learn how to relearn and unlearn. And we need to take some opportunities to engage with anti-racist conversations or anti-racist education and decolonial education. And that made me who I am today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chopala. You also shed some light on religious barriers. And she has also spoken about regressive patriarchy. Indeed, we have to work a lot on that. And I really like you saying that no one is going to give you leadership position. You have to claim by yourself. So we women have to claim the leadership position by ourselves. Is it so? All right. And also, thank you for sharing the child care related perspective. Yesterday I was in another event organized by Single Mother Society, Calgary Single Mother Society, and I have heard lots of conversation on affordable child care and flexible child care to come out to these women to come out for economic participation and leadership position as well. So thank you for highlighting that part as well. So I would like to go to Sumanji now.
Thank you. First of all, I'm really honored to be here in this program. I'm very delighted to share some of the experience of Nepalese community. And Dr. Chopala, you had very good saying at the end of your speech that we have to learn and de-learn, right, or unlearn, right? So that was a very powerful statement. So with that being said, talking about the leadership, what is the current reality of leadership in Nepalese community organization or within Nepalese community? So I will talk a little bit about our Nepalese cultural history, how we have been proceeding in terms of community mobilization, community volunteerism. So first of all, let me acknowledge that Nepalese community is very strong, and it has a very strong history. In 1985, actually, Nepalese community started coming up as an organization, which is Canadian Nepalese Community Association, which is CNCA. And later on, in 2004, Nepalese Community Society of Calgary formed up. And later on, I think we have more than 20 ethnic communities, Nepalese community here in Calgary. So we have the estimated population of approximately 7,000 to 10,000 Nepalese people currently residing in Calgary. So we are growing, and as of today, I can say that even earlier in the program also, there was the perfect example of equity. Our community leaders are coming out and they're teaching, they're investing to their younger generation, especially for the girls, and that's how they're coming out in the community right now. They are teaching, they are sharing their experiences. Now the younger generation is having a lot of zeal to do community volunteering. I think that is a big change. So on the investment on the kids, probably that is the best investment, right? This is going to ensure in the future that there will be gender equity. basically, I love to say gender equity rather than gender equality. Let me share my experience. Currently, I'm working as a child welfare social worker with the government of Alberta. In my office, there is a perfect, there is gender equality. If you say the number of the female worker, probably it's 70% of the workers' population is female, and probably 30% of the male. But when we talk about the participation of the ethnic community employees, probably it's very low. It's maybe less than 5%. So I'm talking about equity in the sense that there is a good gender equality, but there is not equity. So what I'm saying is the marginalized population, let's say the visible minority, the group we belong to. So there is a very few employees from our community. So our emphasis should be on that. What we are looking for, are we looking for gender equality, or we are looking for gender equity, right? So this is the focus has to be. So in the nutshell, what I'm trying to say is we are sharing our experience to the younger generation, and we are coming out that younger generation is going to be capable to lead our community. And also, like for example, Sharmila ji, you have done such an awesome job in the community. So you have been kind of like a great experience, kind of an inspiration to other younger communities, also other population also. So we are growing, we are trying our best, and hopefully we're gonna have that better gender equity in the future as well. That's what I can speak about our Nepalese community. Thank you.
Thank you, Sumanji, for setting your ideas and thoughts and telling that how strong our Nepali community is. Yeah, I feel so proud when you say that. Thank you so much. And you also shared the example of gender equity and how less representation we have in child services in government of Alberta. That is what I'm hearing, I guess. And we need to bring lots of leadership there, I guess, from ethnocultural communities as well. So thank you for setting your ideas here. And now I would like to move on to Fauzia.
Hello and salam alaikum, everyone. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you for being here and taking time from your busy schedules. And also, I would like to thank those who are keeping fast, and despite that, they are present here. I know it's end of the day, like it's most difficult, you know, to be patient and lack of energy. So thank you so much. So I have been with community, with Afghan community in different provinces. Like as Sharmila ji also mentioned that I was here in Canada for the past like 25 years. So half of this time was in Quebec, Ontario, and half is in Calgary here. So I have been with different groups, and I do see that, you know, Afghan community, especially women, they have similar barriers and difficulties. And one of the reasons that I just did the transition from working with informal groups to have a registered organization, Ilm Society, was this, to have more of structured help and support for Afghan women who are really struggling with multiple barriers. So in 2022, we based and registered this organization to support women. So Afghan women, as I see, there has been some evolutions and progress since some decades that I observed them, but it is really at baby steps. And still there are lots of challenges in front of them, lots of barriers. And on the top of everything is language barrier, which makes them you know, very much slow in progressing into Canadian society to achieve you know, what we really desire for them. There has been also these women has been coming from they have been coming from a background with no education. Most of them there has been lack of education and also not access adequate education from back home and also in transitional countries. So as a result of that, Afghan women, they are they cannot find their ways in Canadian society, and they really need lots of support from side of the government and other organizations so that they can be supported and encouraged to participate and also go out and become part of the society, because the number of the isolated women is very high in Afghan community. In terms of leadership, we see that it's the number of women is very, very low. So we don't see many women that they are leading. As I said, there are so many barriers, and also cultural norms, and also gender equality, also family responsibilities that the community and culture puts on the women. They are mostly considered, to do and take care of household, and just be at the service of the household, and they don't get much time and opportunity to be with the outside community, and also to just do something to progress in social life, in educational life, and in other aspects. Like so many things to be done, and we are just hopeful that things can change within the families, because men in the families, they need to just do a change of mentality towards supporting the women. Sometimes people say that because of being Muslim, these women are, just they have this barrier. But in fact, like most people might know in this hall, that in the first word that was revealed in Holy Quran was Iqra, which means read. So this signifies the importance of education for women in men, because there it's not mentioned or not addressed just for men. So it is an address for all those that they believe in Islam. And besides, the leadership of Islam that in other questions I will just elaborate it, has been very much significant, that we can discuss it further. And that's something that we all should know about that, because sometimes we believe that, or we think that because of the things that goes around, we believe that, it is because of the religion that barrier is put, which is not really true. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fauzi Aziz. You also brought up religion here again. And then, thank you for sharing the realities of Afghan women having multiple barriers here. You highlighted language barriers, lack of education, and different cultural norms are also being barriers for women to be in the leadership position. And you also mentioned the role of men to bring our sister in leadership position, right? And thank you for sharing that. And we are actually grateful to our male panelists and male participants to be here and supporting this conversation, actually. So without male ally, we cannot achieve gender equality in our ethnocultural communities. We are damn sure about that. So thank you so much, all our males, to be here and supporting us in this conversation, this important conversation. With this, I would like to ask one more questions, and who wanna okay, Mohammed Z is ready with the mic. Yeah, no problem. Whoever wanna take it, take it. Actually, this, Fauzia's statement, men needs to support women to, bring in to different leadership position. That is right answer right now to bring me into another similar question, I would say. Here, I have a question that says, do you believe gender equality in leadership is essential? Tough one. and what role are men and allies currently playing, and what more can we do to support and advocate for women's leadership in ethnocultural communities?
Thank you so much. First of all, about the first part, if I believe in gender equality, I don't think it's a matter of answering such a question because, you know, those who do not believe in gender equality are denying the fact that, like, us men are raised by the greatest leader ever, which is our moms. So, like, they should be ahead of in this game. So I definitely believe in gender equality. And as I said, I'm a married man with two little ones, and I have a daughter. And I see the world through her eyes. And I want her to grow up in a world where she's protected, she is achieving, she is succeeding, and she is advocating for girls that like are I would say privileged by like the sentiment that Sister Fawzia said in Quran. Allah says, "Iqra." That was the first sentiment that like came on the Prophet, and I'm pretty sure any religion or any belief that we follow advocates about the importance of education. And education doesn't only come from school and from teachers. The first teachers that we grow up with are our parents. And again, I would highlight on the aspect of the dads, the fathers, because mothers are always the way to go, like for everyone. So, but the fathers are the ones that empower a lot in the house. If the father is knowing how to control, Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, I'm going to say it in Arabic and I translate it. كل منكم راع وكل مسؤول عن رعيته. So all of us are like shepherds, and every person is responsible for his own flock. So you need to be that leader as a father and as a mother. And I emphasize on the pact of a father because that's how you empower. That's the first part of it. The second part, when it comes to how do we do it, again, we need to empower our children, whether they're males or females, to grow up on that respected aspect. You need to teach your son before your daughter the importance of equality and equity. You need to teach them that we exist for the reason of representation in a country that we suffer every day. We fight every day in this country, in Canada, for our presence, like for anti-racism, for inclusion, for diversity, for equity. Whether we're on the table or not, there's always what my brother said here, that like, you know, there is equality in so many workplaces, but there's not equity. And that applies to us, to our sisters, to our daughters, to our mothers, where like they don't find a room on the table because of a lot of barriers. How do we overcome these barriers? We need to educate. We need to advocate, and we need to support. And again, I highlight on the aspect of support on us as males, to teach our children and sons before our daughters to create a community and environment that like is suitable for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohammed Z. Yeah, educate, advocate, support, and teach our daughters, right, to bring equal leadership in our multicultural communities. Thank you so much. Now, mic is on your hand, Dr. Chapula.
Can you please repeat the question for me?
Okay, all right. So my initial question was, do you believe in gender equality in leadership? Is essential, whether gender equality is essential or not. That was the first question. That I added that question also because, you know, I have personal experience, and there are male in my surrounding, I would say. I have different experience, I would say. So that's why I put that question. And also I have one more question here. What role are men and allies currently playing to bring gender equality in our communities, and what more they can do?
Of course, I'm a believer of gender equality, of course. And I would say that what Sharmila said, that there are millions of voices, that there are non-believer of gender equality. But I think since now I live in Canada, and I have earned my privilege, that I do not need to hear all those voices, that those who do not believe in gender equality. But it's not that I'm not aware of that situation. I'm pretty sure that those voices are not too far. They do exist here, right here in this room, right? But what we can do. So here is the role of the educators. my specialization of education, it's in women and gender studies, but unfortunately, my classroom is full of women. But always I feel that this classroom should be filled with all genders. And still, this is 2025, but we live in a world that we do not, we are afraid of talking about LGBTQ community people too, right? So what I'm trying to say that we need inclusive education, we need decolonial education, and we need more and more community spaces like this to come and have the conversation without any fear, right? Ally, you are talking about the ally. So yeah, there is lack of education, there is huge gap, and patriarchy structure, colonial structure, these are all responsible for all these gaps that has been created around our community, around us. But again, as I said before, that we need to take that leadership. But with whom? Together, right? I think one of our guest speaker was talking about that collectively we can be stronger. So this collective, I think today's world, the world we live in, we do not believe in we anymore. I. Look at everywhere, especially social media is the best place to practice all those me. But we need to think deeply how we can create all those we spaces. So together, we can create all those decolonial social spaces, anti-racist social spaces, and respect, love, and care. I really loved the way you showed respect to your mother. And it's not that we do not know it. We know it. And I mean, often I say that I wish I could teach a course about how to love. In today's world, when I see today's problematic world, I see that we do not know actually how to love. So love doesn't mean only physical love. Love, it is interconnected with responsibility, acknowledgement of women's reproductive labor, and it is interconnected with how we can take the responsibility to love everyone. So I think that's a huge missing piece in my eyes. So, and that's not one person's job. That's not government's job. That cannot be happen by making some policy. Hey, love people from tomorrow. Love your community tomorrow. Love your wife from tomorrow. Love your mother from tomorrow. Respect your mother tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. We need decolonial education, and also we need education that will create a good human being, right? Yeah, I think I will stop there.
Thank you for your perspective.
Thank you.
Indeed, we need inclusive, decolonial, and anti-racist education, and an educator definitely we deserve to teach in the class without fear, right? So that is also a conversation in our university always, and indeed collectively we can be strong. Thank you for sharing that knowledge with us. Now I want to move on to, and also you talk about we space. That is really, really important. Instead of saying I, we have to say we, and we have to start with we. That is more important, I think.
Can I add one sentence here?
All right.
By disrespecting women, by raping women, by disrespecting our land, what we are losing? This is my question for today's world. When we will understand that by hitting a woman, by depriving a woman, what we are losing, if we can exercise this point, I think that our job would be lesser. Thank you.
That is so powerful. Thank you. So now I want to move on to Sumanji.
Thank you. It's a really very good discussion, right? So first of all, coming to your first part of the question, do you believe on gender equality? Yes, definitely yes. I'm a firm believer of gender equality, and even more than that, gender equity, right? Like I said earlier. So where we are right now in terms of gender equality in Canada. So the population of women is slightly above 50%, which is around 51%. And when it relates to the leadership in the community, or that can be in different government portfolios, so the Women International Day, there was a report published on the occasion of International Women's Day in 2022. The report was saying that 35.6% of the female population is in management position. And if we talk about the top leadership position, which is around 30%. So there is not gender equality at this point of time. If we refer to the report from 2022, right? So yes, I believe gender equality is really important, and even more than that, gender equity is very important when it relates to the visible minority community like us. And now, how can we promote leadership in the community or in our ethnic cultural organization? So first of all, like my fellow panel members also talked, like they presented their different perspective, right? My perspective is the leadership should begin from our home itself. A home should be a home. A house should be a home, right? What does that mean? That means our mothers, our sisters, our daughters have to be respected, and they should feel that they are heard, right? So the allyship basically begins from a home itself. I can be a feminist. I do not need to be a female to be feminist, right? So what does that mean? That means I have the personal traits, I have values, I have different perspective. When it relates to the equality, I can be the best partner for my partner, right? So that means why my wife has to be caring of my children or our children if one of us has to quit the job in order to care for our children. Why? Why I cannot be home caring for the children? Why my wife should be there, right? It's all about the perspective. So the feminism can start from our door. That has to be promoted when it relates to the gender equality in the leadership. And another perspective is the patriarchy. Definitely we cannot run away from here, right? Everybody has some sort of like experiences about patriarchy because we are from South Asian community and more or less we practice this patriarchy. So patriarchy in the sense that it is a kind of like a inculcated, it's a brought up mindset, and this is actually hindering a lot of like a developmental aspects of our women fellows in the house, right? So that's why the patriarchy has to be, like Doctor said, we have to learn. First of all, we have to de-learn, and then we have to relearn. What is not working here in Canadian perspective? And I would like to share some of the experience from my workplace also. I have worked with different, like very diverse clients, and when I go to interview some of the parents, they talk about DV, which is domestic violence, and basically it's coming from the intimate relationship, right? Intimate partner violence. So why this is happening? It's because some of the mindset we are talking that there are a lot of stereotypes which is basically preventing us giving the equal opportunities in our door to our partners. We think that women cannot negotiate, they are not capable enough to go and do the works. This is some sort of like a patriarchy which is in our mind, right? So what I'm trying to say here is there is a kind of intersectional perspective, which means if you compare a white female work like an employee and an employee from a visible minority, who is more vulnerable? Definitely the vulnerable more and more is the women from the visible minority, because there is a language barrier, because she's still learning in the community about the diverse culture. She's still learning about that, right? So, and even why like females have postpartum depression, it's because of the family dynamics. The family environment they live in probably bogging a lot to them, right? To have that kind of mental health problem. So why not we can be the best ally in our family first? That's my message to everybody. And the allyship should go beyond a family itself. It can be the city of Calgary in our context. It can be government. It can be other ethnic community associations. Why not we do partnership? So this is the perfect example, right? This program has been organized by Jalmi Society in partnership with the government of Alberta, city of Calgary, even other organizations, right? So why not we do the partnership? So these are some of the steps we can take into consideration when we talk about the gender equality. Thank you.
You have to leave. No worries, Mohammed Ji. We are honored to have you here, and thank you so much for your contribution. But before you go, we would like to honor you with a small token of appreciation. Nasir, please come over here and offer him a small token of appreciation, please. I understand. Yeah, we are a little bit delayed. No worries. Thank you for contributing your knowledge to this conversation. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you, Mohammed Ji. Thank you. Thank you, Suman Ji, for setting lights on underrepresentation of women in decision-making position. You also added some stat that definitely enrich your conversation. And yeah, as you said, we have to start with our family, and our women are supposed to be heard. And we need to unlearn patriarchy and relearn equity and equality, gender equity and equality, right? Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge here, and you also highlighted the intersectionality here. And definitely being a woman and racialized and immigrant and mother adds lots of complication going to decision-making positions. Thank you for sharing your knowledge here. And now I want to move on to Fauzia. Take on.
Thank you so much, Sharmila ji. So for the first part of your question, I do believe in equality, and I wish, that we can restore a perfect equality, which it seems quite impossible to have a perfect equality within genders at any societies, even if they are very much evolved, but it is impossible. And by nature also, men and women, they are created very different. And their roles are also different. And also I'm against this if a woman says that I want to be prior to a man or to have a higher position or higher rank. It's also not acceptable for me. I do see it as an equality for accessing the rights, the human rights. The resources that we have within society for accessible, it should be accessible for all genders, and it should be for everyone. We need to persuade our women to take part in different roles. As my friends here, community leaders, they were talking about leadership in the role of leadership of women in the society. Like in my culture, in my Afghan community, we are away we are a bit away from those things, because people are coming, especially newcomers, like the majority of people, they have language barrier, they have difficulty in accessing to services. And also we have this lack of social networking, and also social services and social circles for them, to guide our women. So one of the things that can accelerate and can be used as a catalyst to support our women and also to increase their level of progress is the male allies or the support of women within the community, starting from families. I would say, like, fathers, they have a huge and significant role in raising their daughters. A good example is myself. I have been under the support of my father and was very close with my father, and he was giving me and supporting me in all aspects, the same as my brothers. So thanks to that, I see all those supports and empowerment that I received from my father. That was so much effective for the rest of my life, and also for any girl that can be very much significant, in their lives. If the first man that they meet in their life with their father is a supportive father and lover, that will be making a big change in the life of that girl and woman. The things that within this society and intercultural communities that can be done, it is the support of men, because without that, we women, as much advocacy, resistance, standing in work, in struggles we do, it cannot be very much successful if we do not have the support of the men in our community. And one of the things that I also believe in that is that we should teach our sons, our children, our male children, how to respect their sisters, starting from the same household, like how to respect, their sisters, and how to respect all the women and girls around them. Just initiating that from the families, that can be making a ripple effect going to the community in the whole society. So that can be very much effective rather than just doing superficial things like, from the surface. As much polish we do, as much work we do, that will not be that much effective if it is not done. The education of the family is not done well at the right time, so that will be a little bit challenging, for the society. Meanwhile, we can do lots of, work within the community, especially with the men in the community, so that, they can support and give time to the women so that they can go out for education and becoming part of the society and becoming part of the circles of the community, and not only coming out of being dependent to the other members or to the male members, but they become more productive, more just supporter for the rest of the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fauzia. Thank you also for sharing your personal story and how your dad empowered you to be a role model you are today, right? So we are remembering your dad as well. Fauzia is also a storyteller of my storybook, and I heard a lot of her father, and I'm truly inspired by him and by you as well. I want to mention that. And thank you for sharing the idea of teaching our sons to support our sisters. So thank you. I have last question, but I am going to give only 1 minute to our panelists. But before that, I want to check on to our participants. How are you doing? Are you enjoying this conversation? Yeah? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So this is the last question, as I said, and we are not going to spend a lot of time because we are also almost running out of the time here. And at last, I want to ask our panelists that if you want to suggest 2 practical steps that we can take away today to increase representation of women in ethnocultural community, what can they be? Just in 1 minute. because we are running out of time, and we also want to give some time to our participant to ask questions.
As a feminist educator, I will advocate for more and more decolonial anti-racist feminism. I mean, feminist education. And it should not be only within the university premises. This education should come all the way to the community spaces. The way you have created the educational space today, it's amazing. And we need more and more event like this, but I don't know how much time you have today to interact with the audience. I think to have small group conversation is very important because we all have so many questions and so many things to share, right? So that would be my suggestion for next event. Can we create more space to have feminist conversation?
All right, that is indeed inspiring one, and Dr. Chapula is doing lots of work, anti-racism work within the classroom as well. I had an honor to, participate one of her event, and I got to learn a lot. So thank you for that opportunity as well. One more, okay.
Feminists do not advocate for hate.
Indeed.
Feminists advocate for love, 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 and care. There are a lot of misunderstanding about feminists, so that needs to be revealed too. Thank you.
Yeah, let's love each other. So, Sumanji.
Okay, thank you. Two things. If I have to do something to invest for the community in order to have better leadership in the organizations, probably the first thing I will do is investing on my kids, basically on my daughter. My daughter is doing lots of recreational activities right now. She's on swimming class, she's on dance class right now, and also she's thinking about doing hockey. And the reason why I'm doing this one is I wanna empower her. I wanna make her learn how the things are going in the community, right? The more she's involved into community activities that can be recreational activities, the better she will understand the community, the better she will be able to explore the people's problem, and the better she will be able to be motivated to work on our issues, on our problem, right? That's why I want to invest on my daughter, so I think that is the best investment, and I would like to request everyone, think about how you are going to invest your kids. It's just like planting a tree right now. In 20 years' time, you'll be able to enjoy the benefits of the fruit tree, right? You plant right now. That's like my message. And the second message is, the another thing is, like I said, the stereotypical thing, like a stereotypes, still we have in our mind. Like I said, women are not able to do the work. We have confirmation biases, that's what they call. That means we think women are as a second category type of person still in the community. I'm saying this is not currently right now in Canada. Probably we come out of that kind of cultural practices, right? So what I'm trying to say is women are not a second category of human being. They are equal to us. Biologically, they have the same capacities like us. They can equally think what we can think. They are equally capable enough to do or to perform the activities, right? So that kind of mindset I need to have, and I need to feel very comfortable if my wife is going to spend overnight outside. If she's going to participate in a program outside of Calgary, why should I bother? Why should I feel vulnerable about that? My wife is not feeling vulnerable if I go to spend night outside, and why should I? Why should I be so much miserable, right? That's why what I'm saying is, so this kind of mindset, stereotypes, has to be first of all recognized, and we have to learn from there for the equitable society, for the democratic and the most respectable society. Thank you.
Thank you so much for setting your light on investing on daughters and removing stereotype, right? Thank you. Fauzia, last one.
I want to be brief. So just within, there are two things, two components about this question for me. Like one is within the household itself, we need to support our female members. Because without that, it's impossible, to expect equality or the progress of women within the community. And the second thing is, outside the household, like, the organizations, the government level, organizations, they need to do those facilities so that women can have access to education, to progress, and to have the like lots of access to the resources within the community. And also, I would like to say that, if a family is given because I do believe in this, that if a family is given only the means to send one of the children to school or to education, and they have one boy and one girl, they should pick the girl. Because investing on a girl is the best investment that can have lots of effect within the community and within the household, because that girl will be a mother and the first teacher for the family and the children. Thank you so much. So I don't want to just. One thing is that I just want to add to women in our community. Mostly like mothers and mother-in-laws. They should be careful about this. They should give lots of time because they need that comfort from their, from the younger people. So they should give that time to their, daughters and daughter-in-laws to go for education and to go, for outside and to go for being part of social life. Thank you.
Thank you, Fauziazi. Thank you again for saying or, adding the empowering statement again, like investing on daughters. We will be able to bring gender equality for women in leadership. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, all panelists, for your insightful, powerful, thought-provoking conversation. We organizers are truly delighted and honored to have you here. Thank you, everybody. Maybe I want to just have we want to have only one question because we are running out of time, and then I would like to invite Nasir. If there is one question, I would like to have one very short, very what do you say? Short question, short answer. No one? Do you have any? Do you have questions to our panelists? All right. So.
I just want to say something. I would say something in Farsi because some of our people who have language barrier, but still they have come. I would like to thank them, and I would like to say one sentence for them. What to do. To support our women. تشکر بسیار زیاد از اینکه شما آمدین اینجا و اکثریت یعنی از نگاه زبانی مشکلات دارین. منتها این امروز محفل امروز ما به خاطر این است که چگونه ما میتونیم خانم ها را مثلا کمک بکنیم، دخترای خود کمک بکنیم تا به یک جای برسن، تا مثلا تحصیلات عالی داشته باشن در اینجا، مثلا کار خوب و آینده خوب داشته باشن. فقط یعنی از خود قانون خانواده شروع میشه، سپورت و حمایت که باید شما همون سپورت و حمایت برای دخترایتان، برای عروسایتان، برای خواهرایتان بدین. تشکر.
Thank you, Fauziazi. Thank you so much. So, thank you again, everybody, for having me. And I think we're running out of time right now. If you have one thing, well, 30 seconds.
Lot of challenges, right? So I think I would like to sing before we close this conversation. And I feel like singing is so empowering. And the song I'm going to sing, this is for all of us. And you will feel the power of this song when we are singing. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, I do believe that overcome someday. 30 seconds.
Wonderful, powerful. Thank you so much to all our panelists again. At this point, I would like to invite Nasir Khan. He is the president of Canadian Zalmi, and this event was brought to you by Canadian Zalmi with partnership with other organizations. He is going to share some remarks at the end. And also, I would like to request Nasir to appreciate our panelists with token of appreciation. Now, Mike is... Yeah, I'm giving mic to you. Thank you, everybody, for having me here. I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I got to learn a lot from this conversation. So I'm grateful to everybody here. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much again. I just want to thank to our panelists, especially the youth and this esteemed, experienced people. They came here and gave us their time. So rest, I would ask Farah to just talk later on, just once we're done. Thank you very much again for coming, you guys.
We would like to have group photo maybe at the end, and give you. All right, we have Farah. She is Vice President of Canadian Zalmi. She is going to give us final remarks. Thank you, Farah.
So this is going to be quick because I know everyone's probably exhausted. I know I'm very tired. So I just want to say a big thank you to all the panelists that came and gave their time. Yeah, and a big thank you to the moderator, a big thank you to the facilitators, and of course a really big thank you to everyone that came. I know we took a big chunk of your Sunday, and everyone likes to do fun activities. The weather's getting a little better, and it was super chaotic parking. So really, really big thank you. None of these conversations mean anything if no one's willing to listen. So thank you all for being here. And if everyone can just stay seated, we'll be handing out boxes that have food. And so once you get that, feel free to leave. Or if you want to chat with anyone here, we offer a lot of programs, so you can come find one of us if you have any questions. But if not, all of our information can be found on our website. So yeah, just please stay seated. We'll be passing out all the food. And again, thank you so much for everyone for coming. And I'm just going to end it there.